All right. So I just want to touch on a couple of subjects here because the spread of false information from unreliable sources that's continued now for the past 10 years since 2015. I could go right back to 2009, so different points where it's come from. So 2009, a person I met in 2013, and then 2015, and someone who came up to me in 2016. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. So if we go back to actual facts, so facts are I've studied design, facts are I've worked in design. I'm going to put it down as work experience because technically I had a government tax. And I'm going to be upfront and honest and say it. Yeah, I actually freelanced and collect salary that was I didn't pay taxes on. It was that simple. From 2009 to 2012. So I'm just going to put it down and say it was a gift. Yeah. But I'm going to be that much of a smart ass because I do have a green card to the US. I did study design. I did work in design. Okay. Those subjects are true. The other subject is extremely true is I've been the victim of extreme defamation in the last 10 years. Now, I don't care who you think you are as a person. And that goes to Belinda Jeffries, my ex-hairdresser. I don't care who you think you are, Penrith. Okay? You're someone's hairdresser. Okay? You don't have a God-given right to involve yourself into your client's life. And that's where a lot of people, I find it to be such an Australian low-life scrubber attitude that people believe they have a right to involve themselves in other people's lives. If this was America, you would be taken to court and charged. And funny enough, the Australian laws are very similar. Okay, you should be taken to court and charged. So there was, so I have the other issue as well. There was this talk about injuries and so forth. Okay, I'm going to stop you right there and say that privacy laws do exist and you're not allowed to repeat someone else's health conditions or medical conditions. It's even so strict that when you're going for the immigration process, there's certain things that they cannot ask. Well, back in those days. I know what it's like now, but I'm going back in 2014 because I started my application for the green card back in 2011. Was talking about doing it since 2001. So 10 years later I did it, started it. Then the year later I submitted it. And like I said, when I was going through the whole process, even in my interview in 2014, I said, oh, so much has changed since I first started the application. You know, I started the application in 2011. Okay, submitted it in 2012. Okay, then 2 years after I submitted it, I'm having an interview. Like there was that 2 years. It's like so much can happen in 2 years. So I hadn't done anything in design for 2 years. And I even said then, I said, look, yeah, I've done design, but I've just had a 2-year break. I'm going to have to go back to it because things change so fast. That was back then. I'm like, oh God, I haven't done anything since 2012. So I'm really going to have to just do a short course and brush up on things because, God, things change every 6 months. That was then. Okay. The other thing as well. So, what was it? Okay. The amount of money I've had, look, I should have a shitload more. The simple fact is that my salary package when I was working as a VIP host at Star Casino, and yes, I was a VIP host at Star Casino. Okay, I never said I was an executive. I never said I was an executive host. I never said I was an Endeavour Room host. Okay, VIP services, and yes, I did actually have to work the Endeavour Room, but I never wanted to. So at the minimum, I had to cover breaks. The Endeavour Room was just too quiet for me. So I always did Star Lounge, and I always did Oasis Lounge, and I always did blackjack tournaments, the pits. You know, going through yeah. So off the desk, mostly I was personalized hosting. Used like, you know, I was only ever on the desk if I had to go and look up SIG player, do memos, you know, jump into people's accounts and so forth. The rest of the time I was out on the floor mostly, or in Star Lounge or Oasis. Now it's a long time ago, but it's still, nevertheless, in my 20s, I was a VIP host. Okay, that salary package was $47,730 a year. Okay, that's a 40-hour week that you were paid for, but I was there, you know, Christ, you're there for 12 hours a day. So it's like those shifts that were for like 4 10-hour shifts, which was good because it gave me 3 extra days, which meant some days I'll be like on one day, off one day, on one day, off one day. It'd be like this, a bit all over the place. I've still got my shifts. But nevertheless, that gave me the opportunity to take another job. Now, Jeff, who worked, or he owned the Tough and Glass business outside of his parents' place in Hunters Hill. He used to run it from there. I wanted that job. So basically it was a really good cash job. And all I had to do, which is probably why my elbows are fucked. There's probably other reasons, but all I had to do was lift Tough and Glass. in the place basically. So he would go out. I mean, some days would need me to go out and measure with him as well. Most times he would go out and be like, hey, he'll put the footing in. So what he could do by himself, he used to do, but then he needed somebody else to give him a dedicated 2 days a week to get these jobs done. And I could dedicate him at the minimum. So he's like, to have the job, you've got to give me a minimum of 2 days a week. I can do that. So for me, that worked in best. It was a second job, getting $300 a day, minimum $600 a week in my 20s. That's an extra $30,000 a year cash in hand on top of my salary of close to $50,000 a year. Okay. So I had my sports cars, my expensive jewelry, clothing, furniture, and shitloads of savings. Okay, already a shitload of savings before I sold my investment property, 16 Scott Road in Tamworth. I never lived in that place. I owned it. I owned it as another income to rent it out because basically the rent was more than the mortgage. So then I paid more on the mortgage, which meant I had a very tiny mortgage. I had a very tiny mortgage to begin with. When I sold the place for $189,000, that was basically just cash sitting there. So I just put it in the bank account. Didn't need to spend it until 2018. And I didn't spend it until 2018. I bought a place in America with it. And that's where that money went to, America. So that was that. And there's the reason why I've had so much money and never had debts. It's because of my work ethics. And I've always worked like that. And this is where it shits me with my mum, because she could stand up and tell the truth. Like, well, every school holiday we're back home in Sydney, and Justin was going to work with Dad with John Smales. That's right. I was going to work there. Okay, every day. You get 6 days a week. Okay, I'm going with Pop in the John Smales. Pop used to... So my grandfather, Reginald George Purdy, is a qualified butcher, but he's a jack of all trades. But he is really good at doing everything, basically wiring everything. So he used to rewire boats. Technically, the job he had at with John Smales at originally PJ Boats, but became Family Boats, just Ford Street, just off Sunny Hot Road there. John Smales is an old family friend that my grandfather got out of bankruptcy, and John Smales doesn't mind telling about it. What happened was we were at work one day and John's upset. He's going to lose the business. And my grandfather said, how much money do you need? Because that's what Reg was like. Because my grandparents didn't live like they had a lot of money, but they had a lot of money. And that's what my grandfather Reg was like. He's like, they don't live like they have money, but they had a floor safe in the fucking laundry. Okay, they had a floor safe in the laundry. Yeah, I know. Okay, when we're renovating the laundry, we had to remove it. Okay. So basically, like Pop's like, he's gone home, come back, and it was his brown paper bags. And he actually gave it to John, said how much money he needed to get out of bankruptcy. Pop went home, brought it back in a brown paper bag. John tells everybody at every funeral, every family event, every wedding, you name it, he talks about Regis brown paper bags. Gave the John Smales and said, now can we get back to work? Because that's the ethics I grew up with. So my grandfather paid his boss the money. So my grandfather's getting paid a wage, but then goes home. So my grandfather wasn't working because he needed the money. He was working because that's the ethics. He works because you got to work. He didn't need the money. He literally went home, grabbed the money for his boss, gave it to his boss and said, now can we get back to work? So clear, like my grandfather did not need the money at all. He was only going to work for the going to work. It's the whole thing of getting up and going to work. Doesn't matter if doesn't matter if you're a millionaire, you're going to get up and go to work. Like that's my grandfather's mentality, Reginald George Purdy. So he basically had a secure job for life, because he literally brought the business. Basically, he gave the money to John Smales to get him out of bankruptcy, so John Smales owned the company. And that's why he had the company. Okay? And you can go and ask John Smales. Okay? And that's the truth. So then I used to go to work with Pop. And, okay, it was always like, don't tell your mother. Don't tell your mother who paid you. Just come home, get your mouth shut. Okay? Don't tell your mother who paid you. $50 a day. 14-year-old, $50 a day. That's $300. If I worked the Saturday half day, that's $300 a week. Don't tell your mother I got $300 in there in cash for a week's work. As a 14-year-old, yeah, that's sweet. Always had those work ethics. I've always had money. Always had a shitload of money my entire life. Never had money issues, ever. Moved out when I was 16. Rented my own place when I was 17. My auntie walked into my place once and I had all these, and she's an idiot because I had these expensive black leather sofas and she's literally come up to me and thought I was some prostitute or some shit. I'm like, man, that actually, and number one, they were secondhand. So yes, they weren't bought directly from Myer. They were secondhand Myers sofas, 90s. Number two, that came from the money when I was doing modeling. So I actually won Models Quest. So I entered Models Quest in October 1996, won my heat, won my next heat, came semi-finals, won semi-finals, came to finals, came running up in the finals. June Daly Watkins from White House School of Fashion was judging. Yes, I used to do modeling. And yeah, you got prize money for it. I got clothing for it. Yeah, it was great. There's a newspaper article on me about it, and it says, will I see a future in it? I'm like, no. No, but I was doing it because I was always doing design work. So throughout my life, I was always art and design. So I was always involved in anything that was affiliated with art and design. And that's a fact. Even in 1995, work experience at Downtown Interiors, interior decoration, work experience at Tamworth TAFE, because I was there in 1995. Tamworth TAFE was arts and media. Work experience to be an art teacher. Okay, I've got all the documents to still prove this. So everything in my entire life has been extremely focused in that field. Even when it was acting and theatre, that's all still part of art and design. Okay, then the apartment I was living in 1997, the person who owned it was a producer. Okay, that producer, he always had it. So when he had it rented out in the past, because he owned more than one house, he had a beautiful house on Carthage Street they lived in, with a grand piano. And so basically every time he rented this place out, something to do, like when he was going through the whole books with his accountant, he had to owe taxes because there was just too much income coming in. So he had it sitting there doing absolutely nothing unless he had friends up from Sydney, basically. So if friends came up from Sydney, he used to say, I was staying, like it's sitting there doing nothing. It was like a little guest house. So they weren't staying at his place, they stayed at this apartment. Anyway, when I went back to where my mum lives, briefly, because I was living at Dad's at Empire Bay, and I was like, oh, I'm not living with Mum. And he goes, well, rent this place off me. I'm like, I can't afford it. He goes, no, be fine, because I can't rent it out. He goes, I'll cut it down, so you pay me cash. Because I'll give you a receipt to take to Centrelink for that amount of money, so you get your rent assistance. Anyway, and he said, you're still doing work. I was doing acting classes and like doing building sets. I was also doing, for the retreat theatre, I was doing maintenance as well. I'm the one that unclogged that toilet. Everyone's probably dead that remembers that. Upstairs, the green room and the hallway, that was me, thanks. And I painted this side. I only did one side of the retreat theatre. If everyone would remember, in 1996, 1997, the retreat theatre went from a dark green to a bluey green. And it was one side of it was painted bluey green for a very long time before the rest of it was painted. That's because I painted that one side and I couldn't get around to the rest of it. I could only get paid for one side. That back part that everyone saw, it's like, when they're going to finish painting, it's like, yeah, man, I'm a kid with a fucking roller, okay? Give me a break. Like, I had a ladder, a roller, and a paint thing, so I always worked. My work ethics have always been fantastic. That's why I had all those money. And that was also paid cash in hand. So the treasury of the retreat theatre just paid me for that little job that I did as well. Now, the guy who owned the apartment was a producer there, and he said, okay, you know, you're donating time, so then I'm going to cut. So, oh, you've donated, how much time did you do at the retreat theatre this week? Like, you donated your time. I'll be like, oh, this amount of hours, like just put in the timesheet. Oh, okay, you did so much hours. He goes, well, that's about 2 days work. Oh, I'll cut down your rent. So just pay me this much this week. It's $100. Literally. I was like, what? So, yeah, that's right. I'll still give you the receipt for the full amount, take that to Centrelink, so you're claiming, but that's all. So so that's how I worked in with a great apartment when I was 17. I owned everything outright. Oh yeah, but walked into my apartment, I had stainless steel Russell Hobbs toaster, kettle, big espresso machine, you name it. That was a bar. I'm friggin' 17. I know that's right, 18th birthday, all the alcohol went in that, but before that, I'm 17 and I had a martini bar. Okay, I did. So when you go and see, you've got the balcony, the dining room, like it was massive. You come in, you had like a little foyer. Off that foyer was 2 bedrooms, bathroom. You go into the lounge room, dining room. In the dining room, there's this sort of built-in, it was fantastic, little sort of like, you can see into the kitchen, little square, but had cupboards on the outside of it. It was actually a built-in bar to the kitchen, sort of the way it was done. I've always like, I'm going to do that, because that's really cool, how it's actually built in on this side. I thought, I could do that one of these days, because this great apartment I had when I was 17. So I had my own little martini bar and everything. Mum come over for dinner. I had like stunning, like the chairs that I had for the dining table. The dining table wasn't from Myer. I had a tablecloth over there. I just got it, whatever dining, but the dining chairs were from Myers, Grace Brothers in Peel Street. They were stunning. These really round sort of, I loved it because it was an Art Deco shape, but they were modern, but Art Deco shape. So this is fantastic, but it all came from working. And I'm 17 with a shitload of money. Okay, that didn't change. Okay, I was 17 with an absolute fucking shitload of money. That has never changed throughout my entire life. It just built up more and more and more. That's it. basically. And that's it in a nutshell. So when I was mugged after work, November 30th, 2007, and my work was being a smart ass, and then they're like, oh, they're going to put you on part, so pay me for 10 years. That's going to be really hard. I'm thinking, not really, man. I'm just going to sell my... It's like how I grew up as a kid. Like, mum's like, oh, God, we need a new pool filter. All right, we better sell a horse then. Kids, get out and work that horse in the paddock. I've got to sell that one. Like, so that's, like, we had a horse stud, so we had heaps of horses, and there was ones in show condition and ones that were actually to sell, to resell. So mum actually used to buy horses to educate and resell. And that actually happened. And, like, people would come. It's like the whole sales aspect is like, oh, they really love this horse, and ask Amanda. It'd be like, Mum, what's his horse's name again? Because this is the one that's a resell. It's not like one of our royal winners. It's just one that we take to the shows to educate and then resell. And they're like, oh, we'll look after this. Like, I have no idea what that horse was. It's just a resale one, basically. You know, educate, buy, sell, breed horses and educate. And it's like, well, what's the assets in this? What assets have we got sitting in the paddock? So I've grown up like that. It's like, well, what's the assets? Okay, we'll just sell that young thoroughbred. Okay. And that is true. I don't give a shit what my mother carries on with. That's fucking true. Okay, how many freaking horses that we used to have that we'll be working that weren't our own horses to actually like work to resell, and we had our own horses that were working for nationals and royals. So that's how I grew up, and that's where idiots that are from a different type of a family don't get it. It's like, okay, you don't get what it's like to have assets just sitting there, like assets in livestock and produce. You know, like primary producer. You have no idea what it's like to be primary producer and just have assets sitting there. You've got no. Have like you don't can't like I've made a smart ass comment once. It's like, oh man, my horse is worth more than my BMW, and so I was perking up. I'm like, well, actually, my horse is worth more than my BMW. What's the resale value of my BMW? What's the resale value of that horse? Horse is worth more. Like seriously. So I've grown up like that. So I've always stocked away, and my grandparents always like, don't tell your mother. Don't tell your mother. She wants you to spend it. It has to be on this. Just put it away. Oh. Yeah, got to the point of, yeah, I got mugged November 30th, 2007 on the way home from work. That's right, I did. But it's like, oh, I own my sports car outright. I've got expensive furniture. Really, I'm sitting here going, all right, I'm just going to pay rent and utilities. I don't need anything. I've got everything. Like, a lot of things that people see now, it's like, yeah, but I've already had all this. They're like, I had shitloads more. I left most of it in America. But it's like, oh, wow, that's so, like, Carol was doing her little bullshit. Man, look, I played a prank of Belinda Jeffries and his deadbeat Peter Fry in 2016. Literally, I've been a smart-ass cunt going, because I was pretending I had memory loss because I wanted to entrap some people. I'm a cunt like that. As soon as I see some bastards that are, fishing around and getting involved in my life, it's like, you watch, I'm going to entrap you. Like, I've got cameras. So anyway, so I'm there going, oh, I had this sculpture made. Oh, fuck off. It's brought from Munro's Mill in 2003 in Tamworth. You get my Zeus? Yeah, Munro's Mill 2003 in Tamworth. Okay. I think Joey Meadows was with me when I brought it. That fabulous lady. Munro's Mill is now a apartment building, I think. I was up there for a holiday. Went a little, like I do, antiquing. Love antiquing. So I'm going through Munro's Mill, and there happens to be Zeus, God of all gods. I'm like, oh, I'm getting that, me, God of all gods, being a smart ass, and Joey Meadows with me. And it was a good price. So I got this statue. Anyway. Jump forward to 2016, I've been a smart ass going, my memory is so bad. It's not. I didn't know, but I paid all this money to have a statue commissioned, and I didn't know until it turned up. I've entrapped you. These idiots started believing it. It's like, bang. Then my fucking loser mother shows up in 2017, right? I've got this stunning from 2005. It's a marble top commode. It's actually Louis XIV style. The legs are Louis XIV style. And I've had it since 2005. It was Raffer and Keller. I brought it from. It's not worth much. Probably about $800. Like, it's not an expensive piece of furniture. Like, I've had expensive items. My lamp's worth more. It's about $800. I left it in America because it got broken on the way to America. It was too old. I shouldn't have shipped it. Like, it was so old that, it was just too fragile, and I shipped it. And I was like, oh, it got damaged. It can stay there. So anyway, I brought it in 2005. Mum's walked into my apartment in 2017. She's run her finger across the mum. She goes, this is nice. Is it new? Oh, fuck off, Carol. Like, seriously, play your mentally retarded scams with someone else other than your son. Don't play a player, you fucking cunt. don't play a player, you bitch. And I'm like, it's not you, Carol. I had it in St. Leonard's. Had it in St. Leonard's, had it in Surrey Hills, had it in Rushcutters Bay. It's not you. Oh, well, maybe I just forgot about it. Yeah, bullshit. You and your fucking scummy cunt sisters are up to some type of scam. Hey, I've been playing everyone since I was lied about in 2015. Watch me. Watch me put on the acting stunt. Oh, ask Lavinia. Lavinia. I do know your name, sweetheart. It's Lavinia. I first met you down near the corner of Cathedral Street and Crown Street in 2017. You thought I was meant to be retarded and you spoke to my dog like it was a fucking baby. So then I started being a smart ass cunt back. And I pretended that I couldn't. Next time I saw you, have we met? I spoke to you the other day. I don't remember you. But your face looks like Nana Ruby. Yeah, meant you retarded scam. Well, I wasn't. You were. I just wanted to catch you out because I thought you were a deadbeat. That's it, really. So I literally went out to fuck over mental workers, health workers, home care, carers, social support and disability workers that had false information about me, that was running with it, even though after I said, look, that's not true, can you correct that? Because you're going to fuck up my actual maintenance of my health, which is what they were doing. So it was basically their projection, or basing something on a fabrication, theories, assumptions, whatever they want, that was then going forth and interfering with my actual health. So what actually I have maintained, I maintained it for a very long time, to the point that I actually went through immigration and everything was fine. It's like, even my doctor in 2014 said, oh, he's recovered from that. It's like, that's because maintenance. Maintenance has made me look like I recovered from that, but I'll always have that injury that has to be maintained. And when I was there in the interview at Medibank Solutions across from Central Station in 2014, they actually asked about it. I said, it's maintained. Like, you're never going to, you break your arm, the break's there, it's healed. But it's always going to be weak in that spot, right? So I maintain my health conditions and injuries. I should not be discriminated against to actually live my life, work, and live in the US as a permanent resident. And exactly, I wasn't discriminated against. But after I accepted the green card and was going through the process to slowly pack up and move and close things off in Sydney, so basically do it slowly, bang. I've had bullshit since 2015 that's actually upset everything I had in place. It's like I say to people, like, no, look, I do need a large inside space. Oh, he's precious, he's spoiled. You know what? I probably am fucking spoiled. I am probably grown up entitled in large houses. Yep, I am. But that's not why. Like, yeah, did I grow up with formal living rooms and entertainment rooms and a games room and, yeah, massive fucking house with yeah, I did. In-ground saltwater swimming pools. Stable complex worth more than what people's houses are? Yep, I did. I'm not going to deny that. So my mum can carry on what she fucking wants, but yeah, working class people don't have that, Carol. Wake up to yourself. Your own mother told you to wake up to your fucking self with your bullshit screaming pool. Okay? But that's not why I was like that with living home environment. It has to be open inside and so forth, and the reason why. Especially large windows looking out and no one looking in, which is really difficult in the city, but still. There's a reason why. And that suits because of the health conditions I've had. And I'm not going to go into that because it is breaking privacy laws. I'm just going to say there's the reasons why I need this to maintain health conditions affiliated with November 30th, 2007 that have now been exacerbated with 2017. So can you listen to me? I don't want to have to go into detail. I'm telling you, I know what I need that helps maintain a health condition that has been caused since the Glasgow Coma Scale 13, November 30th, 2007, that has now been exacerbated since 2017. So it's not actually old, it's new. It's new because it got exacerbated in 2017. And that's it. That should be the end of the story. Okay? There should not have to be, oh, but this and that and that. It's like, I have told you. Now I've spoken. End of story. You take the information from me and you go away. I know what I need inside to work with me, which is exactly why when I was living in America, I was like, okay, this is not suitable where I've brought, but I know I can make money from that and sell it within a year, and it gives me time to find what's suitable. And I found exactly what was suitable, which was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Although, the 3rd bedroom is more of a study, and that's fine by me. That gives me the master bedroom. It gives me a spare bedroom for guests if my family ever want to connect. And I'm happy to. There's family members I'm really close to on my dad's side even. I've got a cousin's daughter that lives in Kentucky. Happy that, like, I would have been loving living in Atlantic City, having my cousin and her husband come up and stay. They're in Kentucky and vice versa. They come and stay with me in Atlantic City, I'll go and stay with them in Kentucky. I want to see the Kentucky Derby. So, there's, I was like, I have the spare room then. Because I'm not stupid. Like, New York works really well for me, the financial district, but I can't afford to own there. I could afford the rent, can't own. So I was looking, going, I want to put my money in something I own. Even, hey, no one knows what the future's going to hold, but what if I rent something in New York? I'm not going to sell this, I'll keep it. I want something I'm going to look at that's going to be for life. And I found it. 37 South Iowa, Atlantic City. I know New Jersey. I knew the area. It was across the road from, I love this, the real estate agent's going to me, you're directly, like, your window looks into the Tropicana Casino. I'm like, directly on. But it was a bay window. A bay window like this? And that little one tiny window there, I can see the goddamn fucking ocean. Okay? So, yep. Okay, 2/3 of it is smack bang sitting right on the Tropicana Casino. Smack bang. There's the lights. There's the casino. There's the 24-hour. Perfect for me. Can I just add? Perfect. Massive floor to ceiling windows. Huge. You open up and there's the casino in front of you. Except right there, that little window there, I can see the fucking goddamn ocean. There's the boardwalk and there's the ocean. And that's perfect. Okay. Plus the inside environment was massive. Huge, large dining room, separate to the huge, large living room. Okay. A galley kitchen. Like I said, that third bedroom was a study type. It was still, good sized room, but still more of a study type. 2 full-size bathrooms. Both bathrooms had a bath. Okay. And internal laundry. And you don't really find, like, for apartments have an internal laundry. So the guys who done the reno had the fixtures for an internal laundry, which I'm like, fantastic. Okay, internal laundry, because I want to get home from work, chuck my clothes in. The only thing, and I love the other thing that the real estate said, there's no stove. I'm like, that's all right, because it was in the middle of a renovation. I'm like, is the renovation done? Is there any reason why I can't live in it? And her attitude was, you don't have a stove, you don't have a stove, you don't have a dishwasher, a fridge, or washing machine. I'm like, so I just have to buy white goods? And I remember this when I was in America. It's like they sell places with the white goods in it, or they rent them with the white goods in it. I'm like, yeah, okay. And I was explaining to an agent, going, in Australia, we move into a place and it doesn't have a fridge, doesn't have a dish. Some don't have a dishwasher, but it doesn't have a fridge, doesn't have a washing machine. And the agent's like, huh? I'm like, they don't come with fridges and washing machines in Australia. And in America, they do. Even if it's just the basic, you can change it out, but you've got to sell it or rent it with a fridge and a washing machine. So she was there going, look, it's in the middle of renovation. You don't have a fridge, you don't have a washing machine in it, and you don't have a stove. I'm like, okay, so the stove's going to cost me X amount. Of how much? Okay. And at this stage, I'll just put those little electric plug-in cooktops and a microwave. That's fine till I get a stove fitted. Are the fittings there? Do I need to plumb it? No, fittings are there. Okay. The fridge, that's fine. I'll just buy a fridge and get it. I'm going to buy a new fridge anyway and get it delivered. Washing machine, that's fine. Okay, so really, we're just looking at fridge, washing machine, and I'll deal with a microwave for now. That was it. It's like, and that was a big thing. I'm like, okay, this is a great price. Okay, for and everything came back perfect. Like everything on this place in 37 South Iowa was absolutely perfect. I'm there going, okay, great. It has the living space that I need. So for me to be able to wake up and maintain injuries and health conditions that were affiliated with 2007, that were exacerbated in 2017, this apartment fits. And I don't need to sit there and explain to people, I'm my person. So I look at a place, I'm like, oh no, this actually works really well. And they're like, oh, but it's 24 hours. I'm like, this works really well. If I've looked at a space and I've said, this actually works, the area works, across the road works, I step out from my street across the road and there's a 24-hour grocery store, there's 24-hour steakhouse, bourbon houses, everything, it's there, the ocean's right there, 30 seconds walk away. This works. Okay, then that works. I don't have to give a long explanation to why it works. I'm my own person. I know what works for me. I don't feel like I have to explain it in detail to people if I'm just saying this doesn't work and this will never work. And there's reasons why this will never work. And I need to keep looking because I know what has worked in the past to maintain a significant large injury that I've had. Okay? and I don't want my life disrupted. That's why New York always works for me. You know, I was there back in 2013. Like, I was in America fucking 2001, traveling around. It's not like it hasn't never not fitted for me perfectly. But I'm in New York in 2013. I'm contacting my ex-partner Gio back. He's like, "How you going?" So, so relaxed and tranquil. So after, like, coming from, you know, Sydney, that just feels like a country town. That's what I said. I was like, coming from Sydney, it just feels like a country fucking town. And then coming to New York, where I'm just like tranquil and relaxed. I'm like, I could sleep for a year. Like, my body just literally went, and I'm winded. He's like, that's not what you hear people say about New York. Normally they're like, you know, it's exciting, it's this. I'm like, oh no, it's meditation for me. I'm not even doing it. I walked down to Chelsea. This is back in 2013, before I was sick. I got sick in 2014. You know, I walked down here, went down to Financial District, couldn't sleep, so I went down to Battery Park. I know it like the back of my hand. I prefer the Financial District because it's all zigzags. It's not on a grid. Financial District's like a rabbit burrow. It's like someone's tied a string around a rabbit, let it go, and then followed where that rabbit went to. It's all over the place. You know, Marion here, water here, it's up here. You know, walk up. Walk up Wall Street, cross Broadway, up zigzag down there to Rector. Oh, there's Greenwich. Yeah, I know it like the back of my hand, and that is the Financial District I know at the back of my hand. Okay, and that's one of the hardest parts to know. Yeah, I know it like the back of my hand. I go back to Financial District and I'll be like, oh, you know, yep, I'm walking up this direction. Got to go up here. I'll go up here past Marion because that's where the T-Mobile is. You see, now, I'm going to go up to Gold Street, corner of John Street, because there's a great page. Well, there's you've got the Jubilee, the self-serve there. I'll get some stuff from, like, you know, groceries. And then past there, if you go down further to where John Street is, the hairdressing supplies up there on John Street. The other supermarkets down there, which I like to get Baxter's dog food from. See? Like, literally the Financial District, I know, like the back of my hand, I always go back there because it's like my home. And I've been doing this since 2013. So I'll go back there. Then it's like, okay, if I've got to go uptown, I'll go to Midtown. I've got to change because I want to go up to Columbus Circle because there's the cobbler up there that I want to get my boots done at. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, when I come to New York, I don't come there for a holiday. I come there as this is my home. I literally live in New York. When I'm here, I'm like, okay, I'm going home to New York. That's what it feels like. It's like, shit, what shoes need to be resold? I'll take these with me. It's like, what are you doing? You're taking shoes to be resold? I'm like, yeah, there's this lady up there near 59th. It's next door to where the French patisserie is. And it's on the corner of the park, and just down the road from there's the art gallery. So I'll get my shoes done, pop in the art gallery, get a pastry, and walk through the park. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, I said to you people, I don't holiday in New York, I live there. I've never been any different. If I want a holiday, I'll go friggin', I don't know, Alabama or somewhere and spend the night in a little sort of, you know, place there going on holiday. I said, I go to New York like I live there. You know, I know what I'm doing. And when I was there making the entry, I literally had idiots thinking I hadn't been here before. I'm like, man, I've been here before. And like some smart ass comes there going, oh, we knows everything. I'm like, just don't interfere, mate. I come here like I live here. Okay, I'm not born and raised here, but I spent most of my life in a city. One city to the next, you adapt really easy. And I adapt really easy to New York like it's just my home. I like wake up in 3 o'clock in the morning, it's like, fuck, can't sleep. Can walk down the Hudson River. Hang on a minute. Up near 42nd, there's the old Chinese guy here on 42nd. It's not far from the Australian consulate. It's not far from, I'll tell you why I'm talking this. 3 o'clock in the morning, he had the fruit store open on the side of the street. I went and brought a massive big bunch of bananas. And he's still there because I did that back in 2013. I did it again in 2014, 2015. I did it again in 2021. Same guy. I was like, are you kidding me? This guy's still fucking here. And that's up near where you've got the Chrysler building. It's not far. Because I was walking around that side of it. Then you're going up there and you sort of go past where you've got the Australian consulate, and then you've got the Chrysler building. And oh god, I know it when I walk past it. It'll come to me because I was walking around where the the Australian consulate and so forth is, that area, and then literally on the sidewalk, this guy, he's got all covered with tarps, and he's got the best fruit and veg. Oh, it's amazing. Like I literally go in there for his fruit and veg, and take all this fruit back to the hotel room. Yeah, and that's actually every time I'm there. So I've actually wandered up that way, which I often do. So that when it comes to knowing an area and being comfortable. And then you got these diggers who doesn't go out. It's like, I'm not going to waste time in a country environment. That's Sydney. I keep saying to people, it's like, yeah, I don't do that, man. I'm out all the time in New York. I put on so much weight when I was in Connecticut, but then I got to New York and my knee was bugging me. I had to start using a cane again because I've got a knee operated on, and I'm going from once jumping on one train to the next, walking up here, walking up there because I was doing it. So I lost the weight like that again. It's like, oh, I'm going back to it. It's because I was out all the time in New York. It's the environment. It's also not being on show. Like, I can literally, wear my fucking fur coat if I wanted to, and no one's going to bat an eyelid. I can walk out with no shirt on, in a jockstrap and my boots and a fur coat and chains around my neck and smoking a cigar and a top hat. And like, another day in New York. Like, literally, it is that relaxing. And I only say that because there's a guy that runs around in his underwear in New York in Times Square all the time playing the guitar. But yeah, like, literally, it is that sort of, who cares? Like, it's that environment as well, but it's also a 24-hour city. It's an old city. It's a dark city, so it works with my eyes. I also think the other side of the world isn't as bright as when you come over to Australia. The ocean works better for me. It's cold as well. Like, see, I love the Atlantic Ocean. Absolutely love it. I love the cold weather. Absolutely love it. New York is fucking hot. Jesus, the summers. When I hear people talk about Sydney's summer, I'm like, oh, fuck this. You haven't felt hot humidity until you're in New York. Have that Baxter? No, he's huffing. You're huffing. I tell you what. So, but that's fine. You go and spend it, chilled out, up in 6th Avenue at Bryant Park, didn't we, Bax? Well, we spent most summers. It was too fucking hot to do anything else. Could hardly move, just laying there near the library. It is hot. It is a heat that you have not, it is a humidity that you have not felt before. But it's only 3 months. And that's what I said, like, I can't stand New York in the fucking summer, but it's still fine. Like, literally, you have a shower and you walk from, I don't know, 6th to 9th, not even that, 6th to Broadway. Like, you walk one block, basically, and you are, like, drenched. It's like, fucking, why do I have a shower? It's like this, like that. The humidity is just so thick. That's fine. Like, that's, the weather suits me, the coldness suits me, the darkness. It's an old industrial city. It's predominantly male city. It's a predominantly masculine city. It's an extremely masculine city. And you can see that, you can feel it. You can feel it with the way it's set out. It's, it's a very masculine, it's built very masculine. It's a very strong masculine city. Where I find LA to not be, type thing. But it has a sort of, it's a very masculine, old industrial city that's quite dark, actually, and which someone that's had damage to the left eye I don't want to disclose my health conditions. Damage to my left eye, where it was badly damaged, around here, November 30, 2007. Then damage to both my eyes, in 2010. Damage to both my eyes caused photosympathist or something. I don't know. The specialist, Gail Matthews, would remember because she had to put me in a blackened room. It just, my eyesight, due to overheating, wasn't regulating light. So everything was just too bright. So everything was so bright that I couldn't see clear enough through the brightness. And I still love, and I get migraines as it is since 2007. And people was like, "Oh God, you like things dark?" I'm like, I've got damage to both my eyes that I doubt will ever 100% recover from. So I just have to maintain it. And the thing is with that, I love the sunlight coming in. I love the sunlight coming in. I love massive, huge windows. I love the light. I love opening the curtains. I love having big windows looking out. If I had my way, I would have an apartment that was nothing but glass. Floor to ceiling glass. I love it. Absolutely love being able to look out. Okay, but I've got to make sure that I've got good blockout curtains for when it gets bad, or just walk around with sunglasses on, or like I do have, like, even winter glasses. Yeah, so I do have the damage to my eyes, and things work. Even my dog, Christ, my dog and I, every day we're out there playing. I mean, I get fatigue still. Don't worry, I get chronic fatigue and post-viral fatigue. But every day we're out there at Pier 17. Like, he's out there playing. One day we're down. I'm like, oh, Bax, if you keep chasing that dog, you're going to end up in the Hudson River, and that's iced over. Like there was all snow poles everywhere, and he's chasing the dog back and forth from Washington because you've only got the railing down. Like if he keeps going, he's going to end up in the Hudson River. Like he literally, because it's a city with all dog runs, and literally I'm just like back here. Like it was, you could see me sprinting along Pier 17, jumping into the Hudson to get him, basically. But it's relaxing. That environment is just, and it's not because, like I said to people, it's not because it's New York. I love when idiots seem to focus on a name. It's like, no, you could call it Shitsville. It could be an unknown area, but it's the dynamics of it. The entire thing works for me. It just all works. It makes sense. Where Australia doesn't make sense to me, but it works. The whole dynamics of it work. The environment works. And it's funny, years ago, when I was in America in January and February 2001, I'm traveling around, and I end up like, people thought I was like, because the way I complain and talk, it's like, oh God, you're like so good for New York. Oh, I'm in LA. It's like, ugh, God, everyone was shutting down at 2:00 in the morning. Coming from Sydney back then, Sydney, we just had the Olympics. Sydney was 24 hours. There was Tantra, Envies, everything run 24 hours. And Amanda, my twin sister, was living there. She was in Stafford, Virginia. Just Stafford, not far from Washington, D.C. And we decided to do all the West Coast and then go back and do D.C. and parts of Virginia, which is very pretty. Absolutely stunning, actually. Fredericksburg, it was stunning. I saw Scottsville traveling around as well. So like I didn't just do the big cities. I saw some little places as well. Scottsville was actually quite nice too, like little spots. I actually really traveled. I traveled America before I was 22 years of age. Did I travel America to death? It was actually very pretty, some parts of it. Anyway, a man had already lived there for like 18 months, and so I got to see a lot of the States, and I knew where I fitted in. And it was never really, as much as I liked the beach in LA. I mean, we traveled, San Francisco actually. San Francisco is a bit of a cross between, it's got the LA sort of laid back with a bit of the New York sort of city. San Francisco was good. I was a bit leery in San Francisco. We had a good time there at the Fairmont Hotel in the Tonga Room, the basement nightclub there. And that worked. There's actually some funny photos of Amanda and myself up near the Golden Gate Bridge and the Bay Bridge, actually. But that worked. Out of any place in the West Coast, I wouldn't say LA did. I loved LA, but it was just, it was LA. It was like, I don't know, it doesn't rain much for me. It's always sunshine. That's not me. So anyway, so back then, so I already knew back in 2001 what parts of the US actually suited me from traveling around there. I spent 2 months there. It was great. Back in 2001. Then I always set out to actually, get a green card. Yes, I thought my twin sister was mad. The bosses she worked for, Kevin and Cindy, were like, Kevin cried his eyes out when Amanda was, I'm like, Amanda, stay. What are you coming back? Like, it's Australia. Like, literally my attitude back in 2001 was, it's Australia. Like, what are you coming back there for? She said, but I missed it. I was like, how can you miss family? I'm not one of these people that misses people, so I don't get it. And she's the one missing people. I'm like, stay. They're going to help you with a green card. Like, Amanda was only on a working visa. I'm like, they're helping you with a green card. They had connections in the White House. I think it was Cindy's father was in CIA. Like, the family that my twin sister worked for, they actually had, because we went to the White House with them. We actually went to the military base there in DC. It was something like their family was involved in some military stuff. I'm like, man, you've got a good family, you got a good work here, stay. She was coming back to Australia. I'm like, why? Like, why are you coming back? Like, that's insane. You've left. Like, look, I'm back in Australia not because I wanted to, not because I had to either. Well, technically I did. I needed to get things sorted out. There was wrong information getting projected to America, but there's no way in hell I would ever come back to Australia. I would never. Oh, hang on, wait, I'll pop past. I need to see on one of it. In America, go see my doctor. You need knee surgery. Just a minute. I'll take a flight to Sydney. Can I get booked in for knee surgery? Yeah, that probably that would be all. You know, although America's gotten so much better. And that's the thing, when I was there, hang on, Cindy was in medicine. So Amanda's boss, one of them, she was a director of nursing or something in DC. Because what was it I needed? I think I caught, like I had bad flu or something, and I went in and Cindy just did it for free for me. One of Amanda's bosses, I needed medication and stuff when I was there. You can get around. Like I've even, like when I've been in it just depends where you live. Like I had to get some bloods done. And like, I'm not going to tell all the secrets out here, but it'll be like, oh, that's so expensive. I'm like, unless you know where you're going. You know, Planned Parenthood isn't just for people with kids. Okay? You can just go there. You might have to wait for hours. I mean, I go to play. Oh, there's one place I go in Chelsea. But there's a place in Chelsea that I go to, and I know it's free. It's a free clinic. I love it. Because it'd be like, oh, can you come in here? I'm like, I'm Australian. What is it? Chlamydia, gonorrhea, what happened? I had a romping week the other weekend. That's how I talk. But like, what is it? Like, I'm not saying I caught anything when I was there, but that's what it is. I was like, oh man, I was up at 46. You know, bumping and grinding. My shirt was off during COVID. I was at the Ritz. So, you know, type thing. I'm just a loudmouth Aussie, which is why I suit in New York, because they're loud. They're loud, abrupt, rude, and it's like, oh God, it's so relaxing. Thanks. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so you just know your way around. Like, because I've gone back and forth, it's like, okay, you know, I go back to a familiar area, but like, oh, okay, I'll go up here. Like, where are we going? So I might have to spend the whole day there because you might have to wait, and then I'm like, oh, can you come back? Like, taking them, it's like, fuck me, dude. Like, I've been here 3 hours, but at least I'm not paying, you know, X amount of money to have all these blood screens done. So you might just have to take an afternoon off and sit there at one of the clinics, but you end up knowing where you're going. Like it isn't doom and gloom. And I love when you talk to people in Australia and like, but isn't it like this? And I heard this and I watched this. I'm like, yeah, listen. Okay, you've got a big city, okay, with people that all have health problems and disability and so forth, and they're not all destitute on the street. Okay, and you know there's ways around things. Okay, like you know that's where, you know, I don't know. You talk to some people in Australia, it's like, oh Jesus fucking Christ, your opinion of America is really movie based, isn't it? You know, it's really movie based. You know, it's like when I was talking about a green card. Someone's like, not someone. I'm not going to say the person, so I'll say someone, just so I don't have to say the person. Well, did you have to marry someone to get a green card? I'm like, so commit a federal offense. It's like, what? It's like, well, marrying somebody to get a green card to the US is committing a federal offense. Like, hello. I was like, seriously. It's like, but I thought, no, you didn't. The film and television industry told you. And what the film and television industry tells you is wrong. So, anyway, I don't think America's that bad when it comes to health things and so forth. I think it's actually pretty quite good. You know, in my experience. There's things that, you know, can do better. There's things that Australia can do better. It's just what is your, you know, what suits you the best. You know? So that's my whole, oh no kitty. You know? Where do you fit? You know? I'll tell you what, if I had so the place that I brought in Connecticut that I was only having for a year to sell, you know, and I wasn't trying to make massive amounts of money. I just needed to get things over there and basically start. So I made a footprint, basically. I needed to make a footprint. I thought this is a good start to make a footprint. Sell it, and I wasn't being greedy. My neighbour's place was sold for $110,000. Okay, my neighbour's place was smaller than mine. All right, I was selling my place for $79,000. Okay, so you see, not greedy. Just wanted to get the money. All I needed was X amount of money to buy the apartment in Atlantic City, and I would still have about $40,000 because I had savings. I still had so I actually had a savings account in America as well. So the $79,000, you know, minus $5,000 of that for, you know, fees and taxes and legal fees and so forth for selling. So I would still have around about $74,000 from the house, from the condo, but I had about $20,000 anyway in savings. American, so about 40,000 Australian in savings in America. And then, so I was like, okay, I would buy that place. I'd have the money left over to buy what I need, the washer, the fridge, the stove. and that's really all I need. And then I've still got 40,000 American in my bank because the extra money would go sit in the bank, which means I can buy that Dodge Charger that I've been looking at. Okay, and drive around Atlantic City in my Dodge Charger, which is relaxing. And that's how I was looking at it. But then I got this weird bullshit was getting caused. It's like because idiots didn't know I had a green card in the US. I'm like, I've got a green card. It's not therapy. Like, what the fuck are you dickheads doing interfering in my life in America? I'm a permanent resident since 2014. Like, honestly, God, I had people that thought, oh, didn't he go over there for some therapy to help with PTSD? I'm like, no. But that's a good idea. Did you catch the acting stunt in 2017 when I was being a smartass? So, like, are you fucking stupid? I said when I was lied about in 2015, I'm just being a smartass cunt until people stop. I told my ex-partner, Giovanni Consalvo, back on the 1st of January 2016, I said, oh, I'm just going to act. Can't do it. Like, it's been a smartass to him. I'm like, what? Until people start correcting these bullshit lies, I'm just going to be a cunt. That's my go-to. It's my protective armor. Mockery and sarcasm. It's my, answer back. So I told you the first time the truth. Now, it's like in America. It's like, what brought you to America? I was like, I told you the first time. Now I'm just going to be a smart-ass cunt. 2 planes and a car. What brought you here? Like, literally. So, Justin, why are you going to America? It's like, well, I already told you this. We already had a long conversation. It's like, I'm going to join the military. I'm going to Disneyland. Oh, because America can handle PTSD and Australia can't. Oh, I'm going to be like, what was that? Was that Orphan Annie movie? I'm going to get this big house and adopt all these orphan kids. Like, being a smartass cunt. Everything I say pretty much was just me being smartass. Mockery, sarcastic, and it's like, people walking off, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. I say things once. I don't want to repeat myself. And it's so like putting up, and I'll tell you what it's like. It's probably a defense mechanism because my mum and her sisters are so much like this. And you get so sick and tired of, like, I can't stand speaking with them. It's not an enjoyable conversation. You sit there and be like, okay, we've already been together for half an hour. It's like leaving fish out for half an hour. We're about to go off. Okay? We've already been, let's go. Let's leave. I can't stand being near my mother and her sisters. It's the same repetitive thing. It's like, but I thought, didn't you bring them here for, it's like, we had this discussion. It's like, didn't you bring them here for Christmas? It's like, no. But I already told you this back in 2015. And if I've got to repeat myself again, I'm going to fucking click it. Because I've repeated it, and repeated it, and repeated it. Now I'm going to fucking click it. Like, I cannot stand being in a room with my fucking mother and her fucking sisters. I cannot fucking stand it. And the worst thing is, my twin sister has been around them too long. I told her years ago, like, she was only ever normal when she was lived in America. And from America, she came back home to Sydney. And I was like, oh, thank fucking God. Get the Amanda the fuck away from Carol and Carol's sisters. And then what did she do in 2002? Moved back around and I'm like, oh, she lost cause there. Lost cause, I wash my hand of you. Okay? Because they are the most fucking pieces of shit people to sit there and be like, oh, jeez, just someone buy them another drink so those fucking women shut up. Like, they are just not enjoy. I can sit with my cousins on dad's side and have a normal, like, we're sitting there having cola. We have a steak and a cola, like, or a soft drink, like, or, lemon lime bitters. I'm not even drinking alcohol, we're sitting there having a chat, or coffee. And we're there and they'll just ask questions. So like, it would be straight. So, Justin, tell me, what happened here? And you tell them and like, oh, okay, now I've got clarity of this now. And they'll go off and accept what you've just told them. This is my cousins on my dad's side, the Fleming side. They'll accept what you've just told them. They'll go off with that information. It wouldn't be next time we have dinner again, be like, oh, about this and that, and then you brought that person here. It was like, honestly, God, there's something more ugly with my mum's side than the sound of their fucking voice, I can tell you. And he's just, Jesus Christ. No wonder my grandfather always had migraines. His 3 daughters. And it's a different environment. Like, I could literally sit and enjoy my cousins on my dad's side and be sitting there relaxed, and they would ask you, be like, okay, we've got to know. Okay, were you, like, what happened here? And if I don't, they're like, you don't have to tell us. That's it. I love when they do this. They're like, you don't have to tell us. I'm like, no, I'll tell you. Like, it's nice. It's so, oh my God, there we go. We need to jump in the car and go see Uncle Tony. It's just so goddamn nice to be around my father's side of the family. It is so enjoyable. It's so relaxing. It's not forced, meaning you don't have your grandmother saying, oh, can you do it? Can you bite your tongue and keep the peace and just do it for me? I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes. If I have to, meanwhile, like, just give me a fucking knife and cut my heart out, like, type thing. If I have to put up with him again, none. Okay. You know, type thing. And that's what it's always been like. It's like, I've already told you. And this is, and they'll be, it's like they're mouthy women. They've got no class about themselves at all. And they'll be the same fucking thing again. And be like, oh, but yeah. And it's like, okay, find English. Somewhere along that little twang there. How about you women find English? Okay? It's got to be there somewhere. Has to be. Okay? There you go, Christy Childs. Okay? Find English first. You and your mother. Right? It is just so uncomfortable to be around my mother's side. It is just, all this grey hair coming through here is from them. Okay? It is extremely uncomfortable. And it's the same issues with them again. It'd be like, you say something, like a great example. My ex-partner can confirm this. I'll be there going, I told him I've got a green card, right? He's like, Justin, they do not listen. Which is why my ex-partner walks off, pisses himself laughing when they were bitching to him. Because he's like, they just sit there bitching to me about their nephew. They literally bitch all day long about their nephew. They're so two-faced cunts. Okay? And then I'll be like, Gio, you tell Marianne that I've got a green card? He's like, no. Why do I need to? It's like, because they don't listen to me. He goes, well, that's their problem, Justin. That's their problem. They can look like idiots then. And that's what was going on. I'm there going, my fucking God, they're doing my head in. I'm like, I have a fucking green card, you idiot. And next minute, it's like, oh, he thinks he's got a green card. That's how she talks. I'm like, Gio. He goes, no, Justin. No. This is your family problem. They don't listen to you. They don't believe you. That's your family problem. I'm not getting involved. Like, I'm like, but I've told them. Oh, well, nothing I can do. They don't believe you. What do you want me to do about it? Well, I'm going to stand there all the time and go, he has studied design. He has got a green card. Carol, fucking listen to your son. Okay? No, I'm not doing this anymore. I was like, you know what? This is why I left John Gabino. This is why, like, meaning it's my mum's side of the family, which is why I dumped him. And I felt the same. I said, and because they kept contacting Giovanni, I'm like, this is why we separated. He goes, this is the whole breakdown of our relationship, Justin. It's like, your mum's side. I'm like, yeah, that's why I also dumped you. Like, I dumped Giovanni Consalvo because I said to him, I said, the only way to get away from mum and her sisters is to leave you. I'm sorry. I said, but he goes, because this is exactly what it was. I said, they ring. I'm like, slam the fucking phone down in the cunt's ear. He goes, I can't do that. I'm like, don't take the calls. I can't. It's your family. I'm like, I don't want him in my life. I said, okay, then if you can't do that, I'm going to dump you because that means there's the block. Again, you're the person keeping mum and her sisters near me, so dumping you means they're removed. I don't have to see them again. So I did. Not like it bothers me much. I'm not a relationship person. That sounds really cold, but I'm not really a relationship guy. So, you know, men come and go, but money's forever. So, type thing. Bit like dad. Actually, my dad's a bachelor. Bit really much like the Fleming side men. You know, if it's going to cost money, I don't want to hear about it. So anyway, yeah, so that's the truth. So dumping Gio, and he knows too, because on the way back from Easter in April 2015, I said, we're over. He's like, what? I'm like, I told you. You didn't listen. I said, if we go to Amanda's for Easter, we're over. Because I thought, like, you literally looked at me, I thought we're joking. I said, I wasn't joking. I said, if you can't tell my mum's side to fuck off, okay? If you can't pick up the phone and say, Carol, fuck off and stop ringing, and hang the phone up in that fucking cunt's ear, we're over. And literally, I was like, so this is exactly what happened. So I literally walked out with my sort of like duffel bag and went to the holiday house in 23 Bangalow Street at Long Beach, Fleming's holiday house. Anyway, then, so Uncle and Auntie knew. They're like, what? Hang on. Because the cameras get triggered off. He's like, Justin's up here, staying. He's at the holiday house. What's happening? So next minute, we're invited to Uncle and Auntie's. So Uncle Tony and Auntie Linda's place for dinner. And it's like, what's happening? What's going on, guys? Like this, it was like my cousin Christy Saruni's there, and like, so what's going on? Like this, it's like, are you like separated? Next minute, I'm getting the lecture from Uncle and Auntie, and I'm like, no. And Giovanni's burst into tears, absolutely burst into tears. I'm like, oh, you're making it make me look like the cunt, Gio. He's like, he's left me. And he's bawling. And I'm like, I didn't leave him. I said, it's a break. And they're like, is someone else? I'm like, oh, don't be fucking ridiculous. I'm not going to ever date someone else again. I said, if I was going to date someone else, I'd probably work on this relationship. I said, no. I said, if I'm having sex on the side, I'm having sex on the side. We want a break. Giovanni can do what he wants. I'm doing what I want. I said, it's got nothing to do with sex. And then even Uncle's like, because you do know that relationships more than sex. I'm like, yeah, that's why people have prostitutes. You know, like, so the stuff that you don't want to really do at home with your partner, so you have a prostitute. Like, I'm not a fucking idiot. Like, all my straight friends have prostitutes. They all have something on the side. Like, Jesus Christ, how are you going to keep a marriage together? You got to have a prostitute. You know, like, fuck's sakes. So anyway, so I said, no, like, it's a break. And I said, I told Giovanni this. I said, he needs to stand up to my mum's family. And it's always, but they're your family. I said, but they manipulate you. Okay? They get to me through you. All right? So you're the one that's the problem that needs to stand up to him. He couldn't. I was like, all right, you couldn't. And it got worse. I'm like, we're on a break because you need to change and you're still contacting them. And then you're like, oh, who's that? Who's he hanging around with? I'm like, a free prostitute, Gio. I said, I've got to have sex. And I can't go to my partner and say, oh, I know I've instigated the break in my relationship, but look, can I just come and visit you for sex once a week? I mean, that's just unethical. So I've got a 6 months break. I'm staying at the holiday house, and if I'm having sex on the side, I'm having sex on the side, basically. Okay? I'm not putting tabs on you what you're doing. Okay? You know, so we've instigated the break. Let's work this out. I didn't leave Giovanni officially until the end of 2016. Basically. I mean, and that can be confirmed because simple fact is that we still spent events together that were meaningful. Meaning we still went and babysat my auntie, Marion and Richard, my auntie, Marion Mihowski, and her husband, Richard Mihowski's house. We still had things like Oktoberfest together. We went to my best friend, John Tataro's wedding to Sandra in 2016. We had New Year's Eve together. So we still did all major events together, like as a couple, but it just meant that the home environment were just separated for a while, which I thought was, you know, it's a mature thing to do. I never harped on my cousins when they've done it. Christ, Fiona and her first husband, Nathan Woods, I mean, they've separated a few times and done things like that. I never harped on them. And I think that's, you know, the only time I was pissed off with them, like, guys, I'm not single. I'm still in a relationship with Gio. If I'm having sex on the side, I'm having sex on the side. You know, like, it's just it. We're on a break for 6 months. And that's it. And I'm not going to have someone that's something decent, because what if I fall in love with them, want another relationship with someone different? I'm just going to find some little friggin' fuck buddy fling. Something that you can look at and go, okay, get out of my bed now, please. I need to defumigate. Okay? You little prostitute. Thanks for that. What's your name again? Right. Put it in my phone as sausage, cum shot, cum shot, cum shot, big ass, big ass, big ass. Yeah, don't know the guy's name. Type thing. Yeah. And that's who I am. I don't think that that's anyone's business. But thanks to social media and shit like that, people seem to make it their business these days. I'm like, yeah, I'm raised old school, mate. You do that to me, I'm going to take a bench top and take you fishing. Type thing. And Johnny Tataro, old mate of mine, he knows exactly when he goes, oh, bench top, going fishing. Justin doesn't fish, you dickheads. You know, he's going to fuck you over, you dumb cunts. He doesn't fish. Guys, does he look like a guy that fishes? No, you fucking dickheads. Okay? He says who's going fishing, he's going to fuck you up. Didn't he put that over social media back in 2016 because he was pissed off with some loser doing Brakenhead? That's right, who's going fishing? That definitely means a code word for something. Okay? And those people would know me. God, Johnny Tataro would know exactly what I was like back in 2002. Because it was his dad, you know, Giuseppe, Pip, Tataro, that was like, all right, Destiny Cards, calm it down. Okay? Calm it down. Okay? You having a model attack? Okay? Destiny Cards. That's right. Okay? Because if you go and do that, okay? If I go into that, what? I said, you're going to help me hide the body? We'll go dump it in Bondi Sewage Works. I was being a smart ass. Don't take that. I haven't killed anyone. But yeah, like, they know. It's like, yeah, Justin's been a smart ass. Okay, he doesn't like people getting involved in his life. He's very, nah, I'll tell you X amount of information and then that's it. Same as when I had an ex-partner who turned up at my grandfather's funeral, and my dad, who's quite lovely, retired builder, was over there, and I'm close to my dad, but I'm like, well, I don't need to introduce this person to my dad because this person's out of my life. But this person's there with his mum. I'm like, excuse me, Sam, just stay here with Maria for a minute. And literally I did. They were over here. I walked over to my actual father, Mark Ian Fleming, who was there with his brother-in-law, Barry Johnson, because they turned up. And Dad's like, son, you don't mind if I don't go to the wake, do you? Because, don't blame me. Can't be around Mum and her sisters. Sure. I was there having a good chat to Dad outside of Reginald George Purdy's funeral. He's like, because we're going to go in a minute. So that's fine, Dad. Don't mind at all. Like, it was, I think, I spoke to John Smiles at the funeral and so forth. Well, that's fine. Dad didn't turn up to the wake because I'm sure he didn't want to be around his ex-wife's sisters. But I did that because I was like, well, I don't need to introduce Sam to my dad because I've already dumped him and he's not really part of my life. And I've said this before. It's like, okay, when it comes to my dad's side, you know that if I've actually, except for the dickheads that I've met since 2015, you know that it's like if I've taken the time to like, I'm going to introduce you to Dad's sister. I'm going to introduce you to this person. It's like, well, why is that important? It's like, because they don't show up. Like, be like, oh, Mum shows up. This one shows up. Okay. And I have to put up with them. Okay. And it's not saying I don't hate my mum's side. I can't hate people. God, did they piss you off? I've already gone over 60 minutes. Did they piss me off? Absolutely. Do they piss me off? Is their behaviour unwarranted? And it gets to a point where it's like, yeah, man, I can't put up with your fucking behaviour anymore. You really need to be pulled into line, and Pop should have picked up a 4x2 and flogged the shit out of you to your piss blood, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I grew up with it always been an argument. Like, you'd hear Pop get inside the house and you start slamming the fucking doors, go out the back and start screaming out to Nan saying, Lola, control your daughters. And you hear my grandmother Lola yell out to Pop saying, Reg, I can't control them as much as you control the weather. And for fuck's sakes, I'll be there going, I wish one of you would fucking control them. I'll be sitting there, it's like, fuck's sakes, now I've got a fucking migraine. It's like, I wish one of you would fucking flog the shit out of those three bitches. Like, someone fucking flog the shit out of them. For fuck's sakes, pick up a fucking 4x2 and flog the fucking shit out of Robin, Marion and Carol. Because someone's got to fucking flog the shit out of them. They're uncontrollable. And that's exactly, like, you look at Pop and just think, no wonder he just gave up. No wonder no wonder he just fucking gave up. Seriously, it's like, oh, God, look at this. I've got 3 cunt daughters that's exactly like, because Pop used to say, oh, no. They're exactly like his mother, Lillian, and his sister Val, and that's not a compliment. That is not a compliment. Like, Pop be like, oh, great. All he wanted was a daughter to be like Mary, Julia, and Bridget. Because, I grew up with Mary, my great-grandmother, but Pop be like, oh, Julia was lovely. These women were so refined, coming from his side that were rats, and going to my nana's side. So, oh well. And that's where he adored Amanda. He absolutely adored my twin sister because, and Amanda was actually like the apple of his eye. I couldn't do anything wrong, friggin' precious Amanda. Christ almighty, don't wake the precious. Jesus Christ. And it's like growing up, Christy, my cousin on mum's side, me and her will be up cleaning and scrubbing and so forth after New Year's Eve or Christmas. Amanda's in bed. Shh, don't wake the precious. Don't fucking wake the precious. Chrissy's like, oh, fucking wake the precious. She's slamming the vacuum cleaner in up the hallway. But Amanda was my grandfather, Reginald George Purdy's favourite. It's true. Don't ask. That's true. Amanda was. But that's the reason why. Like, Pop was like, Pop wanted his daughter to be, like, he always thought it was going to be Mum. Mum married Mark Rackley and turned out to be Robin. And that's Pop's words. That's Pop's words. Is that, oh, she was fine when she was with your father. She was fine. We thought all our troubles were over. And our troubles had just begun. That's the same. We thought all our troubles were over, but our troubles had just begun. Because what happened? Then Mark Rackley come back on the scene. Your parents got divorced, and Carol went off with Mark Rackley. Okay, so basically, and Pop said, she turned into Robin. Turned into Robin, Robin's friends, Robin's behaviour. And that's true. Every statement I've made there is the truth. Okay, so, and Amanda is like, honestly, and I'm going to say this without upsetting Amanda, but I remember she walked up to Nan when Pop died, and she goes, oh, Nan, that's because I left. And Nan's comment was, Amanda, don't be silly, he was going to die. Like this. I talked to Nan afterwards, and Nan's like, he did, he gave up. It's like, I know, Nan. Like, away from Amanda, I don't want Amanda to feel upset about that, but that just shows how close Pop was to Amanda. He was going through radiation therapy and chemotherapy, and he just, once Amanda moved out of Nan and Pop's in 2002, he gave up. Like, I think for him, it's like looking back, and because I spent so much time with Pop, like he was a very different person. Like, there's a coffee shop that used to be in West Point, Blacktown, the old West Point before they did the extension over to St. Patrick's Mall, down where the escalators are. So you go around with the escalators at the bottom, or the bottom floor, and you sort of, when you go around to the right, you've got that corridor that leaves out. You got what used to be like the dollar store, like the reject shop, but around on the other side of the escalators was a coffee shop, was a cafe. Pop has actually sat down, relaxed with Nan and myself, and had a coffee out at the cafe on the escalators there in West Point. Okay, and he did. Okay, and he was just a very different person. I mean, he was a joker. One time I'm walking around, I was up at the post office, I'm walking down past, and he get his and looked up, there's Pop going up the escalator. He's like, your Nana's in the reject shop, she wants to look at something. I'm like, all right, I'm like, where are you going, Pop? He goes, just up and down the escalators. He was being a dickhead, being a show-off, like, he was being sarcastic, like, playing the fool. He used to do it all the time, you know, when we were out. So, yeah, anyway. But, yeah. I'm kidding. You would have loved Reg. But, yeah, so these sort of statements I've made, they're true. Yeah, Amanda was my grandfather. I was Nan's favourite, which is why there's Lola on my chest. You know how many gay guys thought I had my wife's name on my chest? I'm like, it's the only woman it's the only person that ever gets my heart. It's like, who is it? Lola. Who's Lola? Lola's my nana. That's my nan. Lola. Lola May. Only person. I had this done. You should have seen the fucking Purdy dogs. And I did it when Nan was alive. Because I said to Nan years ago, I'm like, Nan, I'm going to get your name. And I was showing Nan. It was actually before her Auntie Murray's birthday, actually, her sister's birthday. And I was showing Nana. She's like, oh, God, you're going to start trouble with my daughters. It's like, I know, Nan. Oh, Robin had the shits. Mum's like, where are you going to put Carol? Then I told Nana, oh, Vanessa, where are you going to put Carol? What bullshit? Because I grew up with my grandparents. Eventually, this is what it was like. And I'm going to leave it here because I want this to upload. You're going to put Carol. Fucking hell, what a joke. So, we're at Auntie Margaret Keegan's funeral in Balmain back, I think it was about August 2003. And so, because I used to go with my nan everywhere, my nan and Pop, Reg and Lola. So, even back when Uncle Jack, which is Matthew John Sayer, passed away back in, was it 1993? I didn't go with my mother. I was already there. Mum was late. I was there with Nan and Pop, so I would be there with my grandparents. So it was basically my grandparents that raised me. Anyway, so I'm in Balmain. So Mick Mannion's doing the funeral. It was there at Balmain Church, and the priest came out of retirement to do Margaret Keegan's funeral because of her work in the Roman Catholic Church. So my mum's auntie, Margaret Keegan, which is Nan's Nan's sister-in-law, she did so much work for Balmain Church that the priest actually come out of retirement to do her funeral. She was well known in Balmain, Mum's auntie. Anyway, so I'm there in 2003, and I'm standing there, and Nan's here, and next to me, she's nudged me. She goes, oh, don't look now. I watch, don't look. Looking behind, it's like, Mum's behind us. She goes, oh, Justin, she's got more height than Jessie. Your mother's here. So this is what it was like. So then we go to Tessie's for Tessie's Margaret's sister. And we're there, it was not far from Birkenhead Point, where she lived. And we're there for the wake, and every time Mum's gone to talk to me, Nan's, come over here, Justin. Come over and speak to Gary. This is my cousin. Come, Gary, tell Justin about your grandmother's house in Bellevue Hill. He doesn't believe me how big it was. That's exactly what it was. I'm like, I do, Nan. She goes, shut up. Tell him. Trying to get your mother away. That's what it was like. So she was snobbing my mum, and she uses me as the in between, as a buffer. You know, it was always, yeah. So anyway, so I was always with him. That's who I actually sort of grew up with more. I saw Mum at the horse shows and things. But that's it, and that's the truth. Like, that's actually dead set truth. So I was more with my grandparents and great grandmother and so forth than my actual parents. I'm going to leave it there.